Hi there, my name is FixFox and welcome to Heroes of Might and Magic 2. This is the FHeroes edition, and today we are on to the second scenario in the Descendants campaign. This is Border Towns. Thus far in the story, we have come across Jarkonis, who is the forefather of all the individuals that we are going to come across in the rest of these scenarios. As far as I am aware, we are not going to get to play with Jarkonis anymore, but there's not much else that I have as far as insight. I tried to look up just the basic story, and then I realized I was starting to read some spoilers, and I'm really trying to do this as blind of a playthrough as possible. So, with that being said, let's just go right into the intro and see where we are at.
Several generations passed, and the kingdom which Jarkonis had established grew and prospered freely. But then, in the east, the kingdom of Hirondale grew to power, and a bitter rivalry over the borders began.
All right, another short intro. The first scenario's intro was fairly short as well. Your rival, the kingdom of Hirondale, is attacking weak towns on your border. Recover from their first strike and crush them completely. I love the sound of that. There's something about knowing that as soon as we load into the game, we are going to get absolutely shellacked by the enemy, and then we have to kind of recover. That sounds fairly engaging to me. We are going to have some pretty weak choices here, it looks like. We have the choice between having one attack skill on our primary hero, one defense skill on that primary hero, or having 1,000 gold. That's a very, very small bonus, regardless of which one we end up taking. I don't really know what to make of that. We're going to let the dice roll decide what we are going to take as our bonus, per the usual. We roll a 2, and so a 2 is going to be here, this attack skill. So we're going to start off with a +1 to our attack skill. Let's make sure that our difficulty is on hard, as always. And folks, let's dive right in. Very interesting. Okay. So looking at this, I see that we start off with one Warlock castle, and then we also have 3 towns. It looks like one Necromancer town due north of us. Looks like to kind of the 2 o'clock position, we have a Sorceress town here. And then it looks like to the, 3 o'clock position? Looks like we have a Barbarian town. Immediately though, I see here, Flint the Wizard. Several steel golems, a pack of rocks, several magi. Okay. And for defenders, I have nothing. I've got a feeling that this is not going to go so well. I've got a feeling that I don't know what you can do here. I can potentially upgrade my town to a castle and then spend the rest of my gold on one hero who can probably just die very, very quickly. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me at all. And now as I'm looking at it, it looks like we also have Sir Gallant here. Lots of peasants, several archers. Okay. And, oh boy, here we have sprites. That's good. We could also do the same deal where we upgrade from the tent into the castle and try and hold that. Or we potentially have this Necromancer town. Necromancer town here has actually no enemies around it to speak of. I'm not sure if that is inviting me to potentially try and hold on to my main my main Warlock town and my Necromancer's town or not. Or maybe it's all a trap, and maybe there's an enemy just out of sight, just in the darkness. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to risk it, especially knowing that I will have to pay pretty much all of my resources to upgrade this. I don't think that that's going to be worth it to me. I do see it looks like a little bit of a sawmill here in the upper right corner and some wood, some gold. So there are some potential resources laying around if I'm able to convert that into a long-standing town. Treasure chests, tree house. Okay, some interesting things there. This Alchemist Tower, for those of you who don't know, the Alchemist Tower can help you get rid of any cursed artifacts. That will be things like the Fizbin of Misfortune. That will be things like the Taxaline. That will be things even like the Heart of Ice or the Heart of Fire. Those are categorized as those kind of cursed artifacts that you may not really want on your hero. You've got to pay to get them off, but that's where you can get that done. And then a Witch's Hut, some other treasure here. I'm worried that this is probably going to be, everything I see is probably just going to fall directly into my enemy's hands. Now, though, we have to turn kind of to our matters close to us. a gem mine nearby is not bad. I'm not sure if every single time you load up this scenario, if you're going to start off with the Warlock town or not, but a gem mine nearby, I would much prefer that to be a sulfur mine, but we will take whatever we can get. We do start off with centaurs in the cave, with gargoyles in the crypt, and then we have the opportunity. We already have the well, we already have the statue. This is a little bit of a quicker start, and that bodes pretty well for us. We do have Falagar the Warlock. He does have that +1 attack skill, as we'd already mentioned. And he actually has some fairly decent starting troops, all things considered. Looks like he starts off with Curse, like all Warlocks do. Let's just go to our well, and without thought, let's just purchase these troops here. I think that I'm not going to end up upgrading any of these towns. Even if the Necromancer town sticks around for a little while, I just don't see myself trying to hold on to that one base of operations, especially when it's actually fairly far away from my Warlock town. This is a medium to large sized map in my opinion, so there's a good chance that we're going to have to kind of scroll through and maybe take the Barbarian town back first and then the Sorceress, and this will probably be the last tourist attraction to get any assistance from me at all. And with that being said, I'm sorry, Necromancers. I got a feeling I'm going to see you on the battlefield before I see you over the table enjoying a fantastic banquet. As far as our first purchase goes, we do have the Mage Guild, or excuse me, we do have a spell book. We are able to cast some pretty good spells with the 2 knowledge and the 3 spell power. Should I start off with the Mage Guild? Should I get ourselves the nest? Or should we go for the dungeon and just start getting income? The dungeon's going to cost 3,000 gold. But that just means that it pays for itself after 6 turns, because the Warlock's special building is going to get 500 extra gold per day. That's going to pay for itself very, very quickly. But what I might lose is having to come back later with my main hero to pick up a Mage Guild. So here's what I'm thinking, and this is just my thoughts, because I think that I may never know when am I going to come back. The troops here with the Griffins could be great, but because I'm a magic user, I think I'm actually going to go with the Mage Guild. And I'm going to hope I get a little bit lucky here. It's not a bad Mage Guild. Anytime I see Cure and Dispel at the same time, though, that always feels like a waste, because one pretty much does what the other one does. If I could only pick one, the Dispel Magic or the Cure, I would always rather have the Dispel Magic. You do get the opportunity to heal a little bit of hit points, 5 hit points per level of spell power with the Cure, but the Dispel Magic is better than the Cure in the sense that you can take down some of the enemies' buffs that they might be having. So really, the Cure can only affect your own troops. The Dispel Magic can affect the enemy's troops. The Bless, though, nice to see. Nice to see. Anytime I don't see a magic arrow, I'm always a little bit sad. I just can't help it. And that's a good time for people to remind me, and they say, FixFox, you rely way too heavily on magic. You should probably get out more, and you should get some new tactics. To which I say, you're right. I agree. I really need to improve. But as it stands, I will try to work on my inflexibility, and I will try to simply get better on the fly. I'm going to keep this gargoyle here with Barak as I purchase him for a new hero. He's going to move very, very fast moving forward. And I'm actually going to have him go, Barak that is, to this gem mine, while Falagar goes to this gazebo, picks up the 1,000 experience. And this one's interesting to me. I've mentioned in the past that I only play a diplomacy game if it feels like it's the right move. So far, I'm seeing a lot of different neutral creatures. So far, I'm indicating to myself, well, I've got a Warlock town, so I'm going to have the dungeon, so I may have some extra gold. And then also, there's a good chance I'm not going to end up needing wisdom anytime soon. Tough to say. I'm going to do something a little bit interesting here. And I'm going to take the diplomacy. Maybe we're going to find a Xanadu later on, and people are going to say, FixFox, how did you know? And I'm going to say, I didn't. Knowing that diplomacy can help us get into Xanadu just a little bit quicker. Otherwise, maybe we can scrounge up some extra troops just with whatever we've got going on here. I do see this road. This road is very interesting. On the one hand, we can go here into the east, or we can go south along the road. I am going to want to have Barak go south as quickly as possible, knowing that this mine is undefended. I think that bodes very, very well for me. And then I think that lots of goblins, I could probably just shoot them down without too many problems here. So I'm going to split my troops here into general stacks and fight these goblins with Falagar, if for no other reason than they're just worth experience points to me. I'm going to take no losses there, but gain the 90 experience, and then I'll have Barak probably go through and pick up these resources at the next available date. This observation tower is huge. I'm happy to see that. And otherwise, I am anticipating to lose 1 and 2 and 3 towns. Is it worth it to me to purchase skeletons? Is it worth it to me to purchase sprites? Goblins? No. Not when I only have 1,300 gold. I'm just simply going to abandon the at least 2 towns and maybe 3. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. I'm very glad that I wasn't baited by not seeing another enemy there. If I had stuck around, if I had tried to make that a castle, we would have been in dire straits, and that would have been an immediate mistake. An immediate mistake. It doesn't matter when I get these resources. The crystal mine will start producing crystal now. These resources can be picked up at any time, and I'm not going to lose anything by picking them up later. I do see sulfur. Gems, crystal, sulfur. What else are we missing? Well, we're going to need our wood, we're going to need our ore, and we're going to need our mercury. But other than that, maybe we'll find some more goodies in this observation tower, like an ore mine, a gold mine, and then we'll just kind of move on from there. All right, we have everything we need except for mercury. Do you see mercury? I do not. I do not see mercury. Oh dear. Unless my eyes are cheated by some spell. No, I do not see any mercury here. And that does bode somewhat ill for us, because it's always a little bit of a shame if you're saying to yourself, I have all these possibilities open to me, if I can just have that one thing I'm missing. This is very interesting. Look at this. There's a lighthouse here to the south, and this lighthouse indicates to me that there's probably going to be some adventuring on water, especially since this is just here on an island. That's very interesting. Arm of the Martyr as an artifact is very good. When we talked about this Alchemist Tower earlier, that is one of those cursed artifacts that can be removed. I don't know though, it's +3 spell power. Sometimes I think to myself, I'd rather just have +3 spell power. This is a gigantic cache of resources. Lots of veteran pikemen. I'm going to definitely need at least griffins to take them out. At least griffins, maybe because I'm not too far away from the Minotaurs, maybe I can get that. Very interesting. But regardless, look, even if I don't have the mercury, it's just really, really nice to see these other mines. If I only have to trade for one resource, I can do that. I can always make that work. I'm going to take out this pack of zombies, knowing that I'm probably going to end up pathing 15 wood. I'm probably going to end up pathing this way just to clear out the zombies and the elves. I'm probably going to leave the veteran pikemen, but that'll let Barak here roll through, pick up these resources, pick up these resources, and then pick up these resources, while Falagar then goes back and heads straight for this ore mine and straight for this gold mine. A pack of griffins, that's probably a little too hot to handle, but at least I can clear out the rest of these enemies here. So let's do the zombies first, and then we'll roll through, and then probably roll back to pick up more troops. I think I can maybe do better, especially with this terrain. This is pretty nifty terrain. Let's just go into a completely defensive position, and we'll see where the enemies are going down. Let's focus on the fastest creature first. 4 speed versus 2 speed. These mutant zombies are literally going to get there twice as fast, and so they're going to be who we work on first. I think I'm going to give them one more shot there, and then the gargoyles will clean up that one mutant zombie that's there. This feels bad. If I'm the FHeroes2 AI in this instance, I think that you immediately send your troops across the battlefield. Yes, there's openings where you can go and get the centaurs if you go the long way. But what happens, I ask you, if I just move my troops into this direction? Is this zombie going to go back up and around? Am I going to infinitely be able to just kind of play with their emotions and their priorities? That makes it sound like I'm a really bad pop singer, and I'm just like, played with your heart, got lost in the game. You thought you were going to go south, but then you decided to go north because I just couldn't stop messing with your heart. Anyway, Let's not mix genres here. That is probably the worst thing we could do at the moment. This is Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Let's remember that. There will be time for Britney Spears at other dates and times, but not right now. No. This battle otherwise has turned out much better for us. I'm not even sure how I ended up losing the Centaurs there, now that I think about it. That's a little strange to me. Is it worth trying to get another hero? 2,500 gold. But I haven't purchased a building yet. I'm not going to be able to purchase the dungeon. Not yet, because I'm 500 gold short. And I did start off with the well and the statue, so I was already ahead of schedule. Plus the cave and the crypt. I don't think that I'm going to need to worry about, oh, can I build all the buildings I want to build in the first week? I don't think that that's going to be a problem. So I think I'm actually going to pick up a hero here. And I'm definitely going to pick up Arie. Phineas just doesn't feel like the right choice. I'm not seeing any bad terrain, and he has less troops. I mean, the goblins are good troops, but overall, they are just simply less. And maybe with this extra amount of centaurs, maybe I can take out some of these other creatures that I don't think I would have been able to otherwise. On second glance, these Grand Elves look pretty tough. They look pretty tough. They're a 6-speed creature. My gargoyles are a 6-speed creature. I could still take them, but it's going to be tough. Let's take the scouting there. I generally end up having my main hero just be my main hero. And so at this point, it's probably going to be Falagar unless something terrible, terrible happens. 70 gold left. There's no other purchases to make. And it's very disheartening to see the enemy just kind of like a vacuum cleaner, just suck up all these wonderful, fantastic resources that I'm not going to get. Didn't they ever think about what I want in this situation? I understand why they might not. I really do. We're taking the gold. I definitely don't want Barak to have any extra experience. I just don't think it's going to be worth it for him. Let's do a little bit of a transfer here. Again, I'll keep the gargoyles here, mostly because I just want to make sure that the gargoyles are... Well, I just want to make sure that the gargoyles are on my individual armies, because then I have 1,400 movement points, which is a pretty good amount. Over here, it's only 1,200 with Falagar because those centaurs are slowing him down. Otherwise, maybe I can go sneak this water wheel. Maybe Arie can actually get the water wheel and then come back before he is spotted. It's quite possible. And I am going to attack these Grand Elves. I know I am. The sawmill's too much to ignore. It's just too much to ignore. A lot of casualties here. Let's do much better. Let's do much better. I know that sometimes it may feel like I'm fighting fights that, oh, those are minimal losses. You don't really have to worry. You can speed up the game, fix Fox if you just accepted the losses and moved on. There are some interesting things you can do in these really, really small fights. And I love the things you can do in these really small fights. I probably should have blessed the centaurs. I will probably do that this turn. And really, it's kind of the adage to me of do more with less. Do more with less. You have a greater opportunity to have your tactics shine through in these smaller scale fights, in my opinion. Sure, anybody can take 17 black dragons and just obliterate the enemy because your choices are pretty clear at that point what you should be doing. But it is much more difficult to determine what you should do if the enemy is kind of overwhelming odds. You're trying to just have the goal of not losing any troops. It changes things. It really changes things. The AI thought, I believe, it thought it could kill these gargoyles, and it just missed out on the damage by just a little bit. That was pretty incredible. We probably should have lost a gargoyle by now. We're going to move our gargoyles out of the way, the ones that only have 2 or 1 hit points left. And then I'm just going to let the rest of this fight pan out this way. No problems. And then I'm going to hit Q, although we all know exactly who those centaurs are going to shoot next. Should they shoot or should they just stand there? Difficult to say. It's not difficult to say. It is not a hard choice whatsoever. This is the split I want to go with, especially against these Grand Elves. And what's going to happen is, because we're evenly matched, we're going to ping pong bounce back and forth between Grand Elves, Gargoyles, Grand Elves, Gargoyles, and I should be able to get the drop on these guys with that. Is it better to split up my centaurs? 5 stacks. There's 3 slots in between those 5 stacks where I can encumber each of those gargoyles. I actually think now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually better for me to split into 3 stacks of gargoyles and then into 2 stacks. Oops. 2 stacks of centaurs. I actually think that is better. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, let's fight this fight. We are going to sustain some losses here. I think that that's actually probably about as good as I can fight this fight, and yet we're going to fight it all the same, maybe with a couple of spells, maybe with some curses. Maybe we can do something extra. The curse and the bless is probably about on par with each other, because the Grand Elves' difference in damage from the low to the high is 2 to 3. That's 1 point. 1 point here, 2 to 3. 1 point here, 2 to 3. Does it really matter? I would probably favor the curse in this instance, just because we are trying to save troops and we know we're going to take some hits. That's my thought process there. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to curse this bottom stack. I think that this bottom stack is going to stay the healthiest, because this set of gargoyles can attack up here, and then these top Grand Elves will take the first retaliation shot from these gargoyles, whereas these ones are going to stick around longer. These 5 Grand Elves are going to be here longer than these 5 Grand Elves. I hope that that makes sense. Okay, and then the second stack is going to go to here. Same basic thought process. And then down. And the reason why we did the 3 stacks instead of 4 stacks was simply because then we can use these centaurs to try and pick off the weakest stacks and do the most damage. So there's 2 hit points left in this stack, 2 hit points left in this stack, 10 hit points left in that stack. I think we're going to go here and then here with our 2 centaurs. Any good luck is tremendous. We're happy for it. But just like tipping should be, it is, we're grateful for it, but it's not expected. Not expected because we are working our way through at our own pace. Let's see, 2, 3, and 4. Let's actually bless. Let's bless this top stack of centaurs. And then we're going to have these gargoyles and these gargoyles attack this center stack. I don't think we can kill all 3. And so then maybe we can, do fairly good in trying to get rid of all these numbers. And then 1 there. Kill 2. Let's work on this top stack. This poor gargoyle on top is just getting beat up. Absolutely beat up. Let's maybe kill 1 Grand Elf there. I like that choice. And then this stack of Grand Elves is going to take this retaliation one more time. So let's try and attack this bottom stack one more time. This Grand Elf is going to attack here. And really, I'm just trying to squeeze every penny out of this that I possibly can. 1 hit point left on those 3. If these 17 centaurs and these 3 gargoyles can kill 3 Grand Elves, then I need not lose the gargoyle. Never mind. Never mind. How about down here? 6 hit points. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to try and take out this top stack here, just to save these 6 hit points worth of gargoyles there. Attack the creatures that have not already gone yet. And then from here, I'm going to hit Q, because I know that the battle is won. And the losses were the exact same. Despite my best efforts, the losses were exactly the same. And I think I said that when the fight started. I said to myself, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to fight this fight better than the AI, but all the same. We mentioned in the last scenario that our hero, Jarkonis, he picked up an early point into spell power when he leveled up. And just in the same way that the barbarians focus primarily on attack and then on defense, and then there's like a 5% chance to get +1 to spell power and a 5% chance to get +1 to knowledge, the warlocks pre-post 9 have a very similar primary skill progression. And so Falagar picking up +1 attack skill here is actually kind of a big deal. I think it's still, I know it's less than 20% chance, but I don't remember how low of a chance it is. Someday I'll just have like a poster. I'm just going to go somewhere where I can get a draw up of a print screen type deal of the page that indicates from the original Heroes of Might and Magic 2 manual what the ratios are and where all the things are, just so I can have all my information handy dandy right there. But for now, I do not have such a thing. I just have a cat. Yeah, I've got you. Don't look at me like that. Anyway, this is a bad choice. I don't love these choices. We're going to end up taking the mysticism. Why the mysticism? Well, I am using spell points. I don't know how soon I'm going to get back to my main town. I have not seen a well yet. Why would I take Eagle Eye? Well, the 3 heroes that took my border towns, they were all wizards. But that just means that they all started off with Stone Skin, right? There's no guarantee that they have any nice spells. Mysticism for sure is going to work. Eagle Eye could be better in the long run. I'm going to take the mysticism now, though. And I'm going to sprint here and try and get this fort before going on over here and picking up the nest. Oh, before picking up the dungeon. Somebody called out through time and space and they made sure that I made the right decision there. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Once again, we're going to kind of push in with Arie. Because there's these halflings here, I feel comfortable enough to just kind of go to this gazebo. It's a lot less about the gazebo and it's a lot more about using his expert scouting to just kind of see what's around here. I don't even think that the enemy hero that was right here, I don't think that they even know that Arie is right here. We can't go through those halflings, that's fine, but Arie can for sure get this windmill before too much else happens. Let's decide. We for sure want this fort. I think that we might as well pick up the sawmill while we're here. It's going to take Barak too many turns to get around. But we're not going to have Balagar pick up this sulfur mine. That will be Barak's job as he goes and grabs this gazebo. Worth noting, though, and I'm going to take leadership here, because sometimes your secondary hero is going to end up taking whatever troops you have left over. We do have diplomacy on our primary hero. Maybe Barak is going to need the leadership so he can lead multiple troops of different alignments. For that reason, I'm going to take that instead of the scouting. And I'm actually sending Barak out of his way just to make sure we can pick up these griffins. What's the chance we can get the swamp? Very low. Even if we got it, we couldn't even get the troops out of it. So there's no sense in Barak waiting in the town. He's not going to be able to get any more troops, but I did want to pick up those griffins. That will help Balagar make some good choices down the road. This is a huge cache of resources. This is a huge cache of resources, and especially because I'm going to be so low on gold as I'm trying to fill out my town. Going up here to get the gold mine, yeah, that's going to help in 2-3 turns. But right now, this stack of resources, even incurring some heavy losses against the veteran pikemen, more and more I'm thinking to myself that that's what I'm going to end up doing. I did not plan on this at all, but I think that that's the direction I'm going. It's probably a good thing, again, for me to be flexible and to change my mind to what's correct at the time rather than what seemeth me good. But tough to say if this is the correct decision or not. Very difficult to say. I am taking that one extra gargoyle. That one extra gargoyle might be that big of a difference. It really might be. It really might be. Otherwise, let's head back over here. I do see this kind of wonderful land where there is this magic well. I mentioned earlier I didn't think I'd seen one. I guess I have. But +1 to knowledge, +1 spell power, some experience, the Hut of the Magi, a level 3rd spell. I mean, you got to fight a pack of unicorns. Unicorns are not something I want to tangle with, at least until I've got Minotaurs, though. At least until I've got Minotaurs. Other buildings to purchase, I'm going to want the waterfall. I don't always want the horde building, and that's what you refer to when you're talking about the building that helps you get 8 additional level 1 creatures per week in whatever castle that it is built on. For the warlocks, it's the waterfall. Centaurs are useful throughout for warlocks as far as I'm concerned. They are their only shooter. One really nice thing about the warlocks is that they do have 3 flyers. But being able to back that up with a couple of extra shooters is always useful. Is that going to prevent me from getting this maze or this swamp? And the answer is probably yeah. Is 8 centaurs worth missing out on minotaurs or hydras? I do not think it's worth it. I think that you would rather have Hydras. I think you would rather have Minotaurs. We're going to wait to build a building. Scratch that. We are going to build a marketplace. It's a lower investment, and if you have it, then you can trade resources as needed. Worth noting that this sorceress town has been upgraded to a castle, as has this necromancy town. But it looks like they're probably in a bad position. I think that this is actually a big mistake from the FHeroes2 AI. And here's how I mean. Unless whatever town Green has as their primary hometown, unless that town is already fully upgraded, you are now potentially trying to upgrade 3 castles all at once. Good luck having the resources, good luck having the gold. And then what ends up happening is that you have, sure, level 1 and 2 and 3 creatures from each of those towns, but there's a certain exponential advantage to getting the higher tiered creatures, and you're going to be missing out on that. Whereas I'm going to be working off of the one town. By the end of week 1, I anticipate getting at least these Minotaurs. Would I rather have Minotaurs or would I rather have the Hydras? I think I'd rather have the Minotaurs at this current juncture just because they are faster. So already I think that this is potentially going to be a mistake from the FHeroes2 AI. I have made that mistake plenty of times in my life. Maybe I will again. Maybe I will again. And yet, I'm just saying, this is so interesting. This may not come to fruition, but it's worth talking about. The Vision spell. It predicts the likely outcome of an encounter with a neutral army camp. That could be, oh yeah, dude, you're totally going to blow them out of the water. It could be they're going to run from you. It could be you are going to incur some heavy losses. And it could be these creatures will join you. Especially when I have a main hero that has diplomacy. I'm just saying, this diplomacy game, if all of a sudden I have a pack of unicorns, I could bust this game wide open. Wide open. Okay, we're going to get this treasure chest. We're not going to get enough gold. I don't think. We're not going to get enough gold to get the Hydras. Although, this would bring me up to over 2,000. Plus there's some gold here. It's 4,000 gold and 10 sulfur to get the Hydras. I think I'm going to commit to the Hydras. I do have a gold mine in the upper west to me. I'm going to take the gold now. And I don't love it, but that's what we're going to do. Because we're going to trust in what I've said earlier, based off of this decision. If the enemy wants to have lots of lower level troops, let them have them. I will take my higher tiered creatures and I will go from there. Here's a decision. Do I pick up this cursed artifact? And I don't know. Right now I have +1 morale. If I take this artifact, I will have -1 morale because I will lose the plus bonus of having only warlock troops. And then I will have negative morale because that artifact will give me some undead in the group. But it will give me 3 spell power. What's 3 spell power going to do for me? At this point, nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. It's better to have the morale in this instance than the +3 spell power. If I had a damaging spell, I'd probably take the Arm of the Martyr. As it stands, Barak is going to take it for me. Maybe not. Through a clearing, you observe an ancient artifact unfortunately is guarded by a nearby green dragon. Do I want to fight the green dragon for the artifact? No, that makes my decision for me. And I love this quote here, by the way. Discretion is the better part of valor, and you decide to avoid this fight for today. Okay. I am going to fight these veteran pikemen, though. I don't feel confident in this decision. They are fast. They are tough. I do not have a lot of offensive troops. But I think I'm going to do it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my centaur stack so I can maybe either bless them. I'll give myself the opportunity to bless the centaurs, but also I will give myself the opportunity to have a single stack of gargoyles that can take some hits. And I'll be able to only have to guard 1 set or 1 stack of centaurs. Otherwise, let's fight this fight. It's not going to get any easier. In fact, it's only going to get harder as their troop sizes grow from week to week. And why am I doing this? Look at all the resources, man. Okay. Your forces suffer a bitter defeat. All right. Worth noting, there is absolutely no terrain on this map whatsoever. Look at this. There is no terrain whatsoever. There is nothing tricky that I can do. I have no offensive spells. I do have the Bless. I do have the Curse. I do got the Cure, which will restore 20 hit points. That would really only be useful maybe for these Griffins, but I'll keep that in mind. These veteran pikemen are going to get down here in 2 turns. And so, knowing that I have 4 spell power, we're going to start cursing the veteran pikemen who do 3 to 4 damage. It's a small effect size, but my effect size isn't going to get bigger anywhere else except for my Griffins who do anywhere between 3 to 5 damage. So between the Bless and the Curse, we're going to do the Curse. 7 defense, 8 defense, 5 attack. The veteran pikemen are going to do reduced damage to all of these troops, except for the centaurs. They're going to do bonus damage to the centaurs. So maybe the curse is not that good, actually. You're cursing someone who's already doing reduced damage. 5 attack, 9 defense. Yeah, you're doing way reduced damage against these veteran pikemen, though. There's no clear winner here. No clear winner as far as curse and bless, which we take. I'm going to take the bless because it's going to last for a long time, and I'm absolutely going to cover up my shooters here. I'm going to have the Griffins go here, 1 stack of gargoyle here, 5 stack here, and we're just going to end up taking some hits. Actually, I'm going to have my 5 stack here, my 4 stack here in the corner, my 1 stack here, and my Griffins right there. I just had this vision for a second that one of the veteran pikemen got good morale and just absolutely ruined my day. It's still quite possible. Okay. The nice thing is that I'm always going to have the drop on these veteran pikemen. So long as I've got gargoyles, I'm always going to get to go first. Always. And 52 damage at a time. We're going to do some damage. We're going to do some damage. Okay. Now let's start to curse. Let's curse the second largest stack of veteran pikemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even this stack can't actually... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can't even get to these gargoyles here in the back. Are 7 pikemen going to kill 1 gargoyle? Yes. If they attack from this direction, then this stack of 9 can sneak right in and jam up these centaurs. Wow. I made a tactical error in my thinking there. I'm going to have to move either this stack or this stack of gargoyles right here. I think I'm going to opt to move the smaller stack right there. I'm not... Well, should I just reach out and attack? Look, do I really want to let them get the first hit on me? Why would I want to do that? The only reason I would want to do that is if it could for sure guarantee that I'm not going to lose any centaurs. Buddy, I think that I'm going to be able to wall them off enough anyway that they're not going to be able to reach my centaurs. I think that we need to attack here now anyway. It sucks. I hate to do it, but as far as initiative, I've got all flyers and shooters. It'll work. I'll have the initiative. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. If I move this 1 gargoyle here, it might prevent somebody from getting good morale. Okay. And then maybe next turn, I'll be able to actually crowd back around my centaurs. In fact, that's what I think we're going to plan on doing. As often as I can kill many stacks of pikemen, I will. Here's 3 here, 3 here, 3 here. Either way, it looks like I'm going to be doing 3 at a time. Let's kill the I'm going to end up cursing this stack of 9 in just a second. So let's actually kill 3 here. And then I know I'm going to take this retaliation. 8 hit points left, 12 hit points left. This stack is cursed. This stack will be cursed next turn. Let's maybe kill 1. We do not kill 1. We get the good morale, though. This is not looking good, folks. Okay. 1 more curse. 16 hit points, 19 hit points, 12 hit points. but I do need to make sure that my centaurs are kept alive. These 8 veteran pikemen are not going to be able to kill these 3 gargoyles on the retaliation. So we move back. These 4 gargoyles need to actually do some damage. This veteran pikeman doesn't have any more retaliation. And then this 1 stack is just going to go to right here. This griffin might go down with this first bit of attack here. I hope not, but it might. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. What went into that decision? What went into that decision? Veteran pikemen do 20 damage and 22 damage. They absolutely would have killed this griffin because the gargoyles actually take reduced damage. They're not prioritizing my centaurs. That bodes very, very well for me. Kill 3. No matter where I attack, I'm going to kill 3. Let's kill this closest stack. And then here, I just want to skip. I don't want to lose my defenders here as much as possible. So let's skip. I could lose 2 gargoyles here on the attack. Let's skip. Because my offensive power is my centaurs, not my gargoyles. Folks, this is totally not good. We're going to probably use a cure, actually. 6 hit points there. 9 hit points there. 3 hit points there. I mean, I could just curse this last group of veteran pikemen. Is that better than saving 9 hit points worth of gargoyle here? I think I'm actually going to try and save 1. Well, but it's 6 hit points instead of 3. And I'm about to have this bless wear off. Let's stick to the plan. Let's actually not curse these 3. We're going to end up having enough for 1 more curse and 1 more bless. 1 more bless is going to need to go down on that stack of centaurs there. So we're going to just wait. Thankfully, this group held steady. That's actually a big deal. It's actually a big deal. This stack of 9. Wow. This stack of 9. This is probably going to be the last little bit of damage I get off on these enemies here. Yeah, this is a losing fight. I bit off more than I could chew. Okay, so now we bless. We move into our defensive position, but ultimately the centaurs are still going to go down. Maybe, though, these veteran pikemen are just going to attack that way. It's not going to matter, but 2 centaurs go down. Gargoyle stays alive. Interesting. We have to kill this 1 right there. So we shall. The stack of 2 is going to go first. 15 hit points, 9 hit points. Let's go here and here. Well, it's not going to matter. These 9 are going to go wherever they want to go. They're going to go wherever they want to go. So let's skip. And actually, never mind. I was kind of hoping that stack of 9 would attack these gargoyles instead of the centaurs, but they actually correctly prioritized the damage. We can kill 1 veteran pikeman, and we're about to have to run. There's nothing we can do about these 9 veteran pikemen here. Sucks. It sucks so bad, but there's nothing we can do. The best thing we could maybe hope for would be to run and get some kind of good luck, but the likelihood is so low. It's so low, and in fact, these veteran pikemen are about to go. We need to waste the retaliation here. And then there's no retaliation. It's not going to matter. We can maybe kill 1 more. It's not going to matter, though. Skip. Attack. And now we run away. Darn. There was no terrain that I could abuse. I didn't have an offensive spell, like a magic arrow. And we take some pretty heavy losses there. I think back on the decision making that went into this fight, though. And I think that's still an appropriate decision insofar as it comes down to, well, hey, the risk and the reward. The reward is huge. The risk was calculated, but man, am I bad at math. Okay. We don't have much else we can do here now. So let's just start to head kind of back. And then next turn, we are going to purchase our main hero back. Is it worth it to purchase him back? Absolutely. He's level 3. We've invested in him. We don't have enough resources to maybe get him that level 2 mage guild. That would really maybe be the difference. I say maybe, but the answer is definitely. And I did have to get him back this turn for fear that if I did not, that next turn he would disappear and some new heroes would appear in the carousel from which we could pick. What that means is that we miss out on the swamp. So that was very, very costly. I don't think I need to tell you just how costly that was. I think you get it. I think you get it. Can I beat 9 pikemen with this army? Absolutely not. And so let's just have everybody go and stand where they're going to be useful in just a second. That's going to be 3 turns. I'm betting you can get there in 2, though. Okay. So Barak is actually going to go stand on this windmill, whereas Arie will pick up this windmill next turn. So windmill, water wheel. I got that wrong just now. It's windmill and water wheel. Any other purchases? No, I'm going to need the gold to purchase me some of these Minotaurs. And we are going to, well, should we stay? Yeah, we're going to stay one more turn. Load up. Starting off actually with the Centaurs, then the Minotaurs. I think that having a couple of fast flyers just with this backbone of Minotaurs, I think that'll actually be the best for me. Oh, let's make sure that we pick up an extra 1,000 gold before we set off. Let's make sure that we purchase or pick up this extra 2 sulfur. And then everybody else is just kind of stuck. We're kind of tripping over each other, trying to get out of the gate here. But once I pop the top here, these other 2 heroes, they're going to be the ones that clear all this out. I'm going to take the gold over the experience in this case, I think. Yeah. Okay. This is a very rough start. I think that anybody could see this, and it's nice because I've had some people who are like, well, so I've said in previous playthroughs, I've said, man, we've gotten very lucky. We've had excellent luck. We've been able to really, by the skin of our teeth, overcome some amazing obstacles. And I mean every little bit of that. And I've also said that every single loss I have is on camera. Every single time that I've had to restart a scenario, it's made it into the recordings. That would be 2 instances that I can think of. We're going to take the estates here over the scouting. I know that there's a lot of map left to be explored, but the estates, knowing that gold is already a little bit of a problem right now, I think that that'll be most worth it for me. But the 2 scenarios that I've had to restart is both in the Roland campaign, actually, and it's Roland scenario 2, and then Roland the final scenario. In both of those instances, it was mostly, in my opinion, it was a matter of one was a gross tactical error, which I'll tell you about in 1 second. The sounds of combat draw you to the scene of a fight between an old barbarian and an 8-headed hydra. Your timely intervention swings the battle in favor of the man, and he rewards you. With a pendant he used to calm his mind for battle, we will be immune to the berserk spells. We're picking that up and immediately giving that on over to Falagar. He's the person who will actually probably use it. In the Archibald final scenario, I lost Roland basically on day 1, day 2, because there was a shipwreck nearby and his 2 giants were not tough enough to beat 50 ghosts. Huh, who knew? So that was one restart. And then the other one was very early on in the playthroughs, and that was against it was the second scenario. You are a knight faction in the very, very center. There are wizards to the north. There are knights to the southwest, and then there are sorceresses to the southeast. And it was just a little bit of a too slow of a start, a little bit of a push-pull that I lost, some poor prioritization on my part. And I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying, but the sorceresses had, I think, 30 plus grand elves just join them. A neutral army just joined them. And come on. At that point, what can I do here? What can I do there? Falagar is going to go out of his way to pick up those spells. The Cold Ray, if we'd had that Cold Ray, that other fight would have been much different. And other than that, if we get some blind spells with the utility there, that's going to be definitely worth our time as well. Definitely worth our time. Let me just hit the letter V. That's going to bring up our view world map just to make sure there's no other hidden things here in the tree line. Interesting that this map doesn't actually indicate that there are loose resources there, but there's something right in front of me, isn't there? Huh, treasure chests actually don't really show up with their own special icon. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. And so yeah, we're going to go out of our way. I'm going to save this Tree of Knowledge for Falagar. I think later on it'll be even more useful. We're going to wait on that. And we're just going to purchase out the rest of these troops. Do I take the Hydras on the road? What are the fights I'm going to end up facing here? Griffins, Nomads, Archers, Nomads, Chieftains. Maybe Unicorns? We're definitely going to take these Hydras on the road, but we're going to do it in a nifty way. So right now we are going to put our slowest troops into the castle here. Everybody but the gargoyle. So our movement for next turn will be 1400. And then when we end our turn next turn, we are going to have the Hydras, but they're not going to be in our army. Let me show you how we're going to do that. Are there any other things we can purchase before we leave? Anything else that might benefit us? We don't have Mercury, so the level 3 Mage Guild's too far away. I wish I'd known that we were going to do that. Thankfully, it only costs 1600 gold to upgrade our Minotaur Kings. From Minotaurs to Minotaur Kings, that's 100 gold upgrade. It's double to upgrade everybody else, so 8 times 2. There's where that 1600 gold came from. I could have saved myself a little bit of cash if I had just been a little bit smarter. It's not going to keep me from these Hydras. Now our movement is going to end at 1000 this turn, but we have 1400 now. We're going to get as far as we can. And then Barak is going to go, let's see, can Arie get here? He cannot. Interesting. If I could, Arie would pick up these Hydras himself. It's going to have to be Barak, unfortunately. But it'll still work out. And everybody but the slowest troops, all the slowest troops are going to go to Barak. 1400 movement points next turn. And there you have it. Little gamey, but that's an extra 400 movement points for Falagar. So basically I'm eliminating the Centaurs. I'm eliminating the Hydras. Little tricks like that. 1200 extra movement points for a week. That I think will come in handy. Let's have Falagar. He's going to be able to reach here. Let's get Barak just a step out of the way so Falagar can walk by him. Return these troops. And then Falagar will... I want him to pick up this vision spell, though. He's going to pick up the vision spell. We're going to... 20 magic points, though. You only have 20 magic points. Are you going to want lots of nomads? Maybe. There's lots of nomads here and a pack here. And why would I need to know? So that way I can make room in my army. That's why. Six of my spell points. Six. For sure, I've got to go through nomads and griffins. For the off chance that maybe you get lucky. I think that the blind, I think that the cold ray is going to be in very, very high demand when we hit those griffins. That's going to be 12, 18. Can I finish with 18 by the time I get there? +1. I'll go from 14 to 16, and that won't be enough. I think this would be a great time for me to use visions. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately. But we're thinking about it, and maybe that's the important thing, is not that we end up going for this wonderful strategy. It's that we at least considered and we knew that it was a possibility. So let's fight here. Glorious victory. That's actually pretty good losses. I'm going to take those losses. I don't think I could do much better. And then now we're going to do the exact same thing. All these troops are going to come back. Falagar is going to end up with 1400 movement points. Barak is going to go to here. Purchases in our hometown. Nothing. Until we can get the green dragons, we're not going to worry about it. We are generating sulfur. Maybe we pick up a little bit of extra sulfur out here. There's none to be had here, but there's this windmill. It's not going to happen this week. But that's probably my goal for next week. If I can get dragons by the end of week 3, I'll be feeling pretty okay. So let's carry on. Not seeing a lot of aggression from the enemies into our town. Really, this has been a thematic struggle of man versus man. Rather, man versus himself. Perhaps it was my hubris that led me to that stunning loss early on. And maybe it was just, hey, you're human, you're fallible. But the point is that it's been us against us, less so than us against the enemies. We're going to clear out these archers. Mostly just so one of these heroes can go north and start to kind of scour that area. I will avoid, I'm going to have Barak probably go this way and get this ore out of my way. And I should have just enough movement points to pick up the rest of these troops from Falagar. Glorious victory, we can maybe do a little bit better than this. This is actually the actual fight that I was thinking about that I saved my spell points for. I might as well use them, darn it. And is it better to do 80 points of damage and kill 2 griffins or to blind a whole stack? I think that there's enough griffins here that a blind is actually just as good or better. We're not going to be able to completely cover up our... Yes, we will. No, we're not going to be able to completely cover up our centaurs, and that's okay. But we're going to do the very best we can. If I move my gargoyles here, I'm wondering what these 4 stacks of griffins are going to do as far as where they prioritize. If I can hit lots of troops with my hydras, that will be ideal. I'm not sure how likely that is. We're going to find out. I might as well just kill 1 griffin, right? And then if I can prevent additional damage on this Minotaur King, that will be good. Let's cover him up. It looks like the griffins are targeting my griffins as well. So losing 1, maybe 2 griffins is probably what's going to end up happening. Don't love it. Don't hate it. It's just kind of the reality of the situation. This stack of 2 here is going to go next. I don't really care what they do. So long as I'm not going to kill 2, I'm only going to kill 1. That's perfect. This 1 is going to attack someone, and then everybody else is going to just pile on to this last griffin. If I can kill 1, I don't think that 2 is going to end up doing 17 points of damage to these Minotaur Kings. They do not. Hydras will go here, and then by the time that these griffins wake up, they are going to be absolutely surrounded and in a world of hurt. In fact, it's going to be these Minotaur Kings with 13 hit points left that kind of do the wake-up damage. They could kill this whole stack. They don't quite, but we're not going to lose 1 Minotaur King. We ended up losing instead the 1 griffin. Okay. All the same, much better, much better. Let's actually have Barak do that swap now, just to make sure that we have all the movement points that we're looking for later. Is Falagar going to be the one to pick up this gold mine? He can get there this turn, I think. I think that I can go through 1, 2 patches of gold and get this gold mine. And that's definitely worth it. Miscalculated. Miscalculated. And that's okay. Mercury. Found it. Okay. We really needed that. We needed that in a big, big way. Because I'm feeling like these mage guilds, these potential mage guild levels, they could really do something nifty for us. Falagar, since he's already here, he is going to pick up all this gold to be had. Note that we're not going to go on the diagonal to try and get out for him. We're going to instead go north, south, east, west. You lose less movement points if you do that. Brock's just kind of sitting here. He's going to go right here. And the next turn as Falagar moves forward, he's going to then hand off those troops. There's this treehouse here. I've already got just 1 centaur. They're going to have the same movement points. It'll be just fine. I haven't been keeping track of the enemy, and that's a problem. Was there an enemy here? I know that there was I know that there was an enemy here, but was there one right around here? I don't want to walk Arie right into his death. He's still really useful. Level 3. He's got the expert scouting. I wasn't paying attention and it bit me. Spells to be had. We don't have the Cold Ray. It's just going to be a loss. Nothing we can do about that. Very unfortunate. That's a time where I think it's very much a misnomer to say unfortunate. Oh, unlucky, misfortunate. No, you misplayed. That's all there is to it. You misplayed. There was a correct play and you didn't do it. The correct play would, if for no other reason than just to like pay attention, that would have been the correct play and you didn't do that. What gives? We're going to bless the sprites and we're going to, let's see, 37 peasants is actually going to do some damage. But the sprites have no enemy retaliation. The fact that these sprites didn't fly across the battlefield and do damage to me is a miracle. And I don't know what to take of that. With 4 attack, 3 defense, it's not really going to matter what we do with Sir Gallant. He's going to hit harder than us all the time. Here's the thing though, I just realized. So their sprites go first. So my sprites are going to go first next round of combat. He might have just given me the opening I needed. If I attack the sprites, the peasants will decimate these sprites. 5 archers though, not so much. Or I can take out all 37 peasants. Let's do that. And the next turn of combat, we will attack these sprites and do something funky. The enemy misplayed in a big, big way there. I'm not saying we're going to win. I'm just noting that they made a huge error. A huge error. I'm even going to curse their sprites. Like, why not? The only other thing I could do would be this cure. And I don't think that's really going to help me. Let's do the curse. Let's do the curse. Folks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're going to win this fight. This makes up for that terrible early fight that we had last time. Like earlier in the scenario. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Wow. Did not see that coming. Raise your hand if you saw this coming. I sure didn't. I sure did not see this coming. Sir Gallant took over a town early on. He's got at least 2-3 levels now. Arie's going to survive because the enemy misplayed at the very beginning. What a terrible mistake from the enemy. What a terrible mistake. And let's kind of break this down a little bit. I'm guessing that what they did not take into account was no retaliation. That might be an opportunity for any of the FHeroes2 members, Zents, who are maybe watching this. That might be an opportunity for the AI to try and find a way to consider in the future. I don't know how in the world you program that, but I really think that the sprites did not take in my no retaliation or their own, when clearly the correct choice was to simply fight me. And if they'd gotten the first strike, they would have won. Spells notwithstanding, the bless and the curse, it is what it is. But that decision not to have their 29 sprites attack my 24 absolutely threw the game. Through that fight anyway. Ice Cloak. So all cold spells will be halved the damage I would take from them. Thunder Mace of Dominion +1. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. That's amazing. And there were defenders here this whole time. That's crazy. I don't think that there's another enemy hero right here. In the event that there is another enemy hero, I'm going to, I'll rebuy Arie if I must, but for now I'm going to see what I can see because of his expert scouting and then get back. Wow. Look at this big cache of resources. Look at this little bit of Crusaders here. I'm wondering what the Crusaders are guarding. These nomads are guarding quite a bit. This map has many interesting things. Many interesting things. Okay, let's make our transfer successful again. So far, the transfer really is working out for me. It's really working out for me. I am going to go in the Do I need gold? How much is my green tower? I'm going to get the green tower by the end of this week. I'm still going to want gold so I can recruit the rest of my troops. And the reason I'm bringing this up is this treasure chest. I will go straight down because I might as well pick up the treasure chest. I might as well pick up the artifact and get the Shrine of the Second Circle. It was really the Shrine of the Second Circle that outweighed going here. So that way I could just, you know, attack both sides and maybe just taking the gold from this treasure chest. That's all it was. That's all it was. I can avoid losing a Minotaur. Again, we've got spells now. I'm still riding the high from that last fight. That was terrific. I'm feeling A-okay. I'm feeling A-okay. I think I left myself enough room for these hydras to get down. Maybe not. Maybe not. I did. Okay. I don't think that these nomads are going to bother these hydras at all. So I'm actually going to move my minotaurs up into a position where they don't have to worry about anything at all. Yeah, 8 damage at a time. 56 hit points left on these hydras. And then the hydras are going to get the absolute wombo combo here in the very center. Oof. Very nice. Very nice. And then at this point, I'm just going to hit Q. I'm just going to let the battle finish up there. I do want to kind of invest in this advanced diplomacy. Basic diplomacy, not that great. Advanced diplomacy, not too bad. Expert diplomacy, really pretty good. One thing that I haven't ever mentioned, but is worth noting, I'm pretty sure that as your diplomacy skill goes up, that a hidden, aka not expressly or explicitly spelled out here, bonus of diplomacy is that you can surrender at a reduced cost. I'm pretty darn sure. I'm pretty darn sure. It doesn't say that here, but I noted in the final scenario of the price of loyalty, I was surrendering with 1 Phoenix, and it was only costing me 300 gold to surrender with a Phoenix. That's not right. And I'm guessing it's because of the diplomacy. Again, kind of a hidden thing. I do think it's spelled out in Heroes 3, 4, and beyond. But here, I think that that's also the same way that works here. We'll take the diplomacy over the mysticism. Okay. And then, since I'm here, let's see. I'm going to attack these Orcs chiefs. I'll take it. I'll take the loss. I'll come on in. I'll take the experience. Wow. So you have a 20% chance for warlocks to get the necromancy skill. 20% chance. There it is on full display. There's only 2 different factions of heroes that can pick up necromancy. That is necromancers and the warlocks. I am not going to get basic necromancy today. No, sir. I don't anticipate that a skeleton snowball is going to win me this game. Do not. Okay, let's do our swap here now. And then here, Death Ripple. Yeah, well, there's Death Ripple. There's your reason to have your skeletons. Absolutely not. Not today. I could have had an extra 16 centaurs if I had just purchased the waterfall. I've got gold now, but I didn't earlier on. That is one of those times where it might look like that was an error. I think that was actually about as good as we could have done. We are going to hightail it out of here. I don't know if the enemy is going to pursue me into the fog of war. I do not know, but I do not want to fight Flint just yet. Not with this army here that Falagar will have. Let's definitely save the +1 to attack and the reduced damage from the cold spells. With this additional +1 defense, for a magic user, we're doing okay. You encounter the infamous Black Knight. After a grueling duel ending in a draw, the knight, out of respect, offers you a pair of armored gauntlets. Is that the same Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail? Tough to say. After scouring the area, we do find this hidden chest containing the ancient artifact Pendant of Death. I don't think that holy spells are really going to be an issue here. That's the second time in 2 scenarios that I come upon a treasure chest that just happens to have an artifact that I really do not care for. Really do not care for. Brock can get all the way over there. It's not going to matter if I do a creature swap now or not. So let's go all the way over here. And to here. And then Arie will be able to drop those creatures off. So, not bad. We had a very slow start because we had lost that fight early with Falagar. I feel like we've rebounded very, very nicely. Very, very nicely indeed. I do wonder if I can get Arie back up into the upper west, the northwestern area of the map, kind of through here. I think that even if I do lose him at this point, that'll be fine. I don't like to lose him. I'm not planning on losing him, but very interesting to know what's going on here. So now we see 2 heroes, Flint and Marini, those are the two heroes that started off being aggressive with me that took these towns. I think it was actually Sir Gallant that took Winterkill. But now that means that the other heroes migrated that way. That may mean that we should move over here to this Barbarian town, which they have now finally upgraded into a castle. We're going to have plenty of spell points later. I kind of want to see. I'm going to step on this, pick up the crystal. I'm going to move the troops over, albeit very briefly. And then I'm going to have Falgar just cast the vision spell. 13 unicorns. These creatures are in a mood for a fight. The elves are in a mood for a fight. So this army is not enough to persuade these unicorns to try and join me. That's fine. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I think that maybe with dragons, they might change their tune. They might. At this point, Falgar is about 1,000 experience away from level 6. Do I pick up this tree of knowledge? Your guess is as good as mine. Do not know. Do not know. We're just waiting on the sulfur. Let's pick up the waterfall now. Better late than never. And with the additional gold mine that we've procured, we may be setting ourselves up for the most success. That may be the best situation we have. Marini is really blocking me off from kind of going this way. And I think that she's probably going for these nomads. Not much I can do about that. Not much I can do about that at all. So we have one green hero here, one green hero here. I'm going to see if I can draw some attention without getting killed. Very important. The steel golems have a speed of 3, so this army is going to be fairly slow. And I think that that'll help me out a little bit. From here, I can get this artifact. And so I will. I think that our time of doing the swap back and forth is a little bit over, just so I can go get this water wheel with Barak. And this Arm of the Martyr here with the green dragon. Ooh, you indicate I'm going to lose a lot. Maybe. Probably. I don't know who the green dragons are going to want to fight first. That's the question I have. I'm probably going to want to bless these Minotaur Kings. Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to bless these Minotaur Kings right off the bat. And I'm actually going to move to right here. If I get good morale, then I'll be able to attack them. If not, then I'll come back next turn. It'll be just fine. Do I use 10 gargoyles to soak up some retaliation from the green dragons? I think not. I don't know who the green dragon is going to go and try and fight. I have no idea. No idea. Minotaur Kings it is. Okay. They've got 117 hit points left. I think, actually, this Minotaur King can really... With a little more help, he can probably kill them. I'm not gonna lose 2 griffins just to take the retaliation. That just doesn't seem very wise to me. I will lose some gargoyles, though. Got no problem losing gargoyles. There's no more spells to be had. Well, maybe they'll bless. I might bless the gargoyles. We'll see. 70 points of damage there. One more Minotaur King lost? No. Can I do 47 damage? No. Absolutely not. But it doesn't hurt me to try at this point. Okay. 2 Minotaur Kings. For the Arm of the Martyr, that is a +3 to spell power, but it adds the undead morale penalty. So we now have negative morale because we have, as you see here, some undead in the group. Who's the undead, you may ask? It's this Arm of the Martyr. But it's +3 spell power. It may be a terrible decision. It may be a terrible decision, but I'm going to pick that up, and I'm going to be happy with my decision. Okay. So, Marini is posing like she's going to be scary. I think, actually, I think I'm just a little bit faster than her. And I don't think that Flint can get me this way. I can either run backwards, and I might actually get caught just because of the way this positioning looks, or I can run forward and use my wonderful scouting to see what's in the what's in the uncharted territory here. There is an enemy hero here. We can just see his legs there. Darn. Still a good risk. Given the information I had. Those were the only 2 heroes I'd seen to this point, so it didn't work out. But that's okay. We're going to move all the troops up, and I'm actually going to consider how far away am I? I'm only 700 experience. I don't want to waste a whole tree of knowledge just to get 700 experience. It just feels bad. So we're not going to do that. Let's head on over here. Might as well pick up this gazebo for free. No other purchases to make yet. I don't think we're going to have another miraculous victory, by the way. I doubt that's going to happen. Yeah, there's no damaging spells we can do. Hey, we can always fly across the battlefield and just harass these poor halflings. Yeah, let's just do that. Unfortunately, I can't use my sprites to... Oh yeah, I can. I'm going to lose Arie either way. Am I going to rehire Arie? I might. That's the problem, is I might rehire Arie. He's not a bad hero. He's been a good hero for us. He's got some good stuff. If I needed another hero, I would much rather have Arie than some other random person who I've never seen before. So, we will let him run. Maybe it's not going to matter, and maybe it will. Maybe it will. Is this a 3-hero map? I do think it is, actually. I do think that this is a 3-hero map. So with that being said, I am going to hire him now. Might as well just kind of move his troops in and have him start to head out into the big wide world. Brock's going to stay on that water wheel. Thalagar's going to stay here, but we must pick up our grain tower. And then we are not going to have enough gold to purchase out everything, but we're going to do the very best we can. We will do the very best we can. Who are we going to leave behind now? We have 6 creatures. We're going to end up leaving behind these hydras. As I started talking, I realized exactly what the choice had to be. There's no other possibility. Sulfur, 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 gems. We'll take it. 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold, 1,000 gold. Yeah, we got it. Perfect. 1 out of 2. Perfect. I do want to see what this first shrine is, but we're not going to be able to get a whole ton of extra stuff. I might as well cast View Resources and just see what else is out here. Little pocket here. This pocket has been tapped. Big pocket right here. I think that I should, let's see, ore, gold, wood, mercury, sulfur, ore. I think it's worth it to me to come out of my town with Thalagar, pop the top off of this resource cache, and then move forward from there. I think that'll do me very, very well. Oh, what? Okay, you can't see this, but I'm using my mouse to scroll in and out. I had no idea you could scroll in and out on these maps with your mouse wheel. I had no idea. Does it bother me that I learn new things about this game all the time? No. It makes me very, very happy. It makes me very happy. What makes me sad is I don't have enough resources to get all these green dragons. I am going to get the green dragons, by the way. I'm not going to wait for red dragons or black dragons or something like that. I just need 2 more sulfur. I could trade for 2 more sulfur. It's expensive, but I'm going to get more later. Well, I could trade 40 wood for 2 sulfur, and that'll be fine. It leaves me with only 920 gold, though. Is 4 dragons enough to really kind of carry my fight? I think so. I absolutely think so. I think it can carry my fight so much that I leave the griffins, actually, and I just split the green dragons. What do you think about that? Pick up a couple more centaurs just to kind of keep the enemy honest. And we don't even wait. We don't wait. We just head out now. And hopefully we take this barbarian town before too much else happens. I'm guessing it's going to be very underdeveloped. But if anything, I still think that that was a benefit for us because the enemy is not going to be able to truly upgrade multiple towns all at once. They're just not going to be able to. These secondary heroes, I think I'm going to have Arie actually... Arie's better than Barak. Barak's going to go back. And Barak's whole job is going to be to try and ferry troops to the front and kind of doing that logistical resupply. Arie's job is going to be to help get the extra resources where I can. I don't want to spend... I still only have 20 spell points. I don't want to spend 6 of those on these unicorns. Yeah, but you're going to regenerate 2 spell points a day. In 3 turns, it's not going to matter. I'm just going to hit visions. The unicorns are still trying to fight. The halflings are going to run. Okay. Okay. Again, if diplomacy is an option, that should tell us if they're not wanting to just fight us. If they hate our guts that bad and they just want to fight, hey, we will let them. Might as well pick up every little bit here. We'll get the advanced mysticism. I'll feel much better about that. The halflings are odd. Do I still want to fight them? Absolutely. That's 195 experience points. I'm going to be able to get here before the end of this week. Let's pick up this. What? Look at this. There's no creatures guarding this little cache of resources. What in the world? Did the enemy start to fight them and then just gave up partway through? Huh. That's a decision that it's confounding. I am befuddled. I am bemused. I am bumfuzzled. I'm trying to throw out as many fun ways to say I'm confused as I possibly can for the folks who are overseas. It's my understanding that some people like some of the things that I say just because they're like, oh, that's very American of you. And I'm like, hell yeah, it is. All right. Okay. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to matter to me if I get this luck back to Falgar or not. We just have bigger fish to fry. In the middle of the patch of a dead and dry vegetation, to your surprise, you find a healthy green 4-leafed clover. +1 to our luck. And then I'm not going to worry about this treasure chest to Falgar. It's simply going to be over to Arie for the purposes of refilling the treasury with gold. Marini can't do much here. She's really exhausted herself. Those nomads, I think, took a lot of the fight out of her. I do know that there's this Mercury here. I'm well aware. I know that we need Mercury for another level of Mage Guild. There's a little bit of Mercury here. Maybe we'll get up one more level. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Right now, I just got to get some towns. It's almost a new month. We've really got to focus on what we got going on. The enemy hopefully does not go towards our gold mine here. I don't know how good the pathing is to indicate, oh, there's a gold mine here. I should try to go south. For all the enemy knows, this is just uncharted territory, and they don't know that they can get there. What are they going to do? I'm not quite sure just yet, but I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to fight this fight, and if I get terrible morale more than once because of this undead arm, I'm absolutely going to go and get rid of it at the Alchemist Tower. I will have fought a dragon and lost 2 Minotaur Kings for it, just to then pay money to get rid of it. And that's okay. No moat. Looks like a right turret and a left turret. Let's see real quickly. This is a meh upgraded town. And I'm guessing that because the ballista fires with the strength of 11 archers. That is an indication of how upgraded the town is. Every new building you have in a town, except for mage guilds, I believe, every new building you have in a town will increase the power with which the ballista defends. So the more upgraded your town, the better it will defend itself. Is kind of what it kind of goes towards. The wolves are going to go next. There's no captain. There's no spells. We're just going to take a whole ton of damage from these turrets. Let's just get down the field, even though I know that there's no break in the wall. Looks like the enemy is absolutely going to try and save their troops. The gargoyles are... I don't want these war trolls to shoot me down. And I don't want to take the retaliation. What did it say in the combat earlier screen? It said 10 lost gargoyles. Tell you what I'll do. I will blind, actually. Will I blind? Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to blind. 1, 2, 3, 4. These ogre lords are going to get a good shot off one way or the other. I'm going to wait on my blind, but I am going to attack the war trolls. They're going to go next, and then I'll be able to figure out what I do with these orcs. I'm going to do half damage everywhere I attack. Let's work on these wolves just because really my power is in my dragons. I'm getting rid of the arm of the martyr so quickly. I cannot impress upon you how quickly I'm going to get rid of that artifact. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Okay. Excuse my intensity. That's just a little more than I wanted to handle there. Okay. Let's see. Do I take the 180 flat damage? Well, we're going to take the 180 flat damage. Well, we can. That's just a given. Just a given. One ogre lord goes down on top of that. Yeah, we're not going to lose any dragons, but we are going to lose all of those gargoyles, it looks like. Nothing we can do about it. In fact, I'm just going to skip with them. Maybe I'll save them just for a little bit longer. And now we're back. I can toast both of the wolves and those war trolls. I'm not going to give you the speech. I've already given you the speech. I'm not going to do it again. I am going to start saving my spell points. At this point, take the gargoyles. I don't even care anymore. They're dead to me. And they're almost really dead to everybody, to be honest. So it doesn't really matter. Sad. Okay. And I think that the rest of my troops can work on these guys without any problems. There goes the Ogre Lords. And then there goes the Orcs. Hey, look, 11 gargoyles. That's actually good though. I would actually, it's a sign of a healthy AI, I think. If I'm able to fight every single fight better than the AI, that's a problem. But when the AI and I basically agree on the way that fights should go or could go, even with the use of spells like you saw there, that's actually a good AI. Because whenever I play, I have the auto spells turned off. So the AI doesn't just waste my spells when I do an auto combat. This is a really tough choice. Logistics or ballistics? We're going to take the logistics. If I could step in the town, I would. But that's actually just fine to me. Again, because I'm fine to know that the AI and I mostly agree. I think that that's a healthy AI. And I'm actually very impressed. I've been very impressed with the AI. I can be absolutely critical of the AI. When it does something dumb, I will let you know. And I will say that's dumb, that's a poor decision, and I don't like it. But when the AI does something good, I can also say, wow, that was really good. And that doesn't actually, I think that actually makes me more credible as far as talking about what's good and what's bad. Yeah, I think it absolutely makes me more credible that you're saying, oh, he's not just going to always be an apologist for FHeroes2. If there's a problem, I'm going to let you know. 1 hero, 2 heroes, 3 heroes, any others? There's not. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 towns, maybe a third. I'm guessing probably over here. Interesting that there's this red barrier, which I haven't talked about, and these stone liths. I haven't talked about it because it really hasn't become relevant recently, until just now. Is their main town hidden behind something else? I don't know. But I do know that there's 3 heroes on the map, and I'm excited to see where Marini goes. North or south? I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not going to build anything in this building, or in this place. Crud. That's a tough decision. I could get... Okay, look. If I get the Cyclops, what's it going to cost me? Not a lot of gold, and that's really what I care about. And do I care about the crystal? No, I've got plenty of crystal. And then I'll be able to have a secondary hero who actually has a decent army, like a fully upgraded army. The resources that I might wish I had later is going to be fine because now I've got a second marketplace. And so I'm going to trade at a better rate. I think I'm going to get the pyramid. And Arie is probably going to go get some troops. Not this week, but next. And then I'm going to have to see again, what does Marini do? If she goes south, I might have to go back and clear all this out and then get her. We will see. Okay. On to the new day. There's that third hero we were talking about. Marini goes north. Dawn goes south. Flint goes kind of in this direction. Wizards. The third town has to be wizards. Or excuse me, not the third town, the fourth town. Green's primary town, it has to be wizards. All these troops are wizard. These are wizard heroes, number one. And so thematically, I think that works. Minus the fact that Sir Gallant, who took over Winterkill, he was not a wizard. But then these troops that they are resupplying with, wizards. I think that is very important. If I'm warlocks and I have black dragons and they are wizards and they can eventually get their titans, that is interesting to me, and that kind of puts a little bit of a timer on what do I do and how do I do it. Balagar is going to take one step out of the way, and I've got enough gold I'm going to spend to get another hero. It's going to be... What's this guy's name? This guy's name is Ergon the Barbarian. And I'm actually going to make sure that Ergon leaves pretty much all these troops, because those troops are going to supply Arie in just a second. But that way I can decide, do I need to go get this witch's hut? And the answer is no, not for Falagar. Oops, that's Barak. Falagar with his centaurs, I don't think that he needs or cares about those at all. Nice to see some magic gardens. There's some other trinkets out here. Let's go. I think Arie actually has leadership. No, he does not. Barak does. Barak has leadership. Level 3. Level 3. You know what? Maybe Barak should actually be my secondary hero. Because with the leadership, he can take the arm of the martyr. Barak's going to head this way in about 2 turns. For now, let's not pay to get rid of the arm. Let's just head out and head kind of towards this stable. And then we'll see what we have there. Trading post, excellent. Wow. Okay, we've actually got to get, wow, we've got to get all of these magic gardens. Look at this. Oh my word. So we're going to have 1, 2, and then Ergon's going to go south just to see what's there. And then we're going to pick up all these, and then we'll hit the stables right before we leave again. That was a nifty little patch there. I kind of like that in map making whenever I see that. It just says, hey, this is the little area where if you take care of everything, and if you have a hero here who you devote to your resource collection, you're going to have a real good time. And it's just thematically kind of nifty. It's fun. I like it. I know some people don't. Some people really prefer to have, they think that that's a little too on the nose, I suppose you would say. But I like that. I like in the 3rd Roland scenario where you have pockets of dwarf cottages and you can pick up 18 to 50 dwarves every week or 2. I just like that thematically. I think that that's nice. Okay. I don't think that we have any other purchases to make here. And I don't think we have any purchases to make at home. And so we continue, we carry on. But right now, before I do anything else, I think that we see what troops we can buy with Barak. So we're going to need, we have all the sulfur we need. So we buy the dragons now. Red Tower, we were always going to be too far away, so I don't feel bad about that. 15 Minotaur Kings. And the Centaurs. And then I think we prioritize, I think we actually prioritize the Griffins now. Yeah, we prioritize the Griffins, but then we take just one more second to pick up a little bit more gold before we actually send Barak back out. Go here. Falagar. What do we do? Was it Week of the Peasant just now? Was I totally... It must have been Week of the Peasant, because all of a sudden there's peasants everywhere. Fix Fox, don't you regret not taking necromancy? No. I think that was a good decision then, and I don't regret it now at all. I do want to pick up this alchemist lab so I can finally get my mercury. We're actually not getting a whole ton of gold here, by the way. It's mostly gems, which is just fine by me. I am glad I've got a barbarian hero with the pathfinding. I'm interested to see what's here in the sand. Otherwise, that should be enough for Barak just to head out. I don't want to trade resources. Well, 54 gems. Are you ever going to need gems for anything else? Yeah, gems can be traded for sulfur. Don't trade gems for gold. And we continue on. The AI is just kind of sticking around. They're not really doing a whole lot. It can't be correct play to have 3 of your heroes within 20 paces of each other. That just can't be correct play. It's like when you're playing chess and you see the enemy's king right behind their queen. It's like, that looks like an easy fork. That simply cannot be correct play. I don't know how, but eventually I'm going to find a way to exploit it. As you approach the stables, the head groom appears, leading a fine-looking war horse. This steed will help speed you in your travels. Alas, his endurance will wane with a lot of heavy riding, and you must return for a fresh mount in a week. We also have many fine war horses, etc., etc. Well, I'm not going to take your fine war horses, but I am going to now send Ergon into the desert. I'm not going to send Falagar or anybody else unless I know what's out there. Oop, swamp. Good to know. Good to know. Flint might be able to reach. He might be able to reach. And I might lose the 1 luck. I'll just get it back in just a little bit. The nomads want to run. Will I pursue them? Yes. Okay. I was going to lose the gargoyles anyway. That's why Barak is taking griffins instead of gargoyles. But now we finally, 2 months in, we finally have Mercury. Let the Mercury flow. How far am I away from additional experience? Yeah, this gazebo will give me an extra level, so we'll go do that. And then I do think that I can beat Flint. My army is not terrific, but I think I'm good enough to beat him, especially with my spells. Not with my morale, though. Whoop. Arie is going to run away very quickly. Cough, cough. I don't think I'm going to have enough. Let's see. I don't think I have enough movement points to go to the gazebo and then go to Flint. And that's okay. Let's have Barak actually cast View Heroes one more time. I'm not running into enemy heroes right now. It's kind of what I'm looking at. 1, 2, 3. That's all they've got. So let's have Arie head this way just to see what else is out here with his wonderful scouting ability. Argon's going to head down into the southeast to find out what's down here. Oh, there's a boat. I like boats. And then, yeah, we can beat Flint, and then that way Arie can stay safe. And I know I can beat Dawn as well. Pause. Do I need to... I might be best off splitting my stacks of dragons, especially when I have bad morale. That would reduce the likelihood that I'm going to lose out on the combat value of all my dragons in one go. And so splitting my stacks there actually has some good tactical value. If I get bad morale, okay, I get bad morale, but it's not on all of my dragons, and I still have some other things I can do. Looks like we are going to win. It looks like the AI is going to say we're going to lose the 2 of the green dragons, but we're going to get a ton of experience, and the enemy is not going to run. Let's do better. 18 greater druids. I'm much more worried about these unicorns. That is a big sack of unicorns. To this point, I have no idea what spells the enemy is going to cast. Sir Gallant, I don't think, had a spell book, and that's why when Arie fought him, there was no spells that played into the equation. Now, though, Flint the Wizard with 3 defense, 5 spell power, and 4 knowledge. I'm guessing there's going to be some spells, and so I'm always hesitant to cast a blind until I know exactly what I'm going to be up against. The likelihood that they have a dispel. Well, I mentioned in the last scenario, you can't cure or dispel damage. You can cure or dispel a blind. Somebody pointed out that they said, well, you can cure damage because it does 5 hit points worth of healing per spell power. You're right. You're right. But the point still stands is that the entire spell, the entire blind is not going to be mitigated by a cure or a dispel. Or will be. The blind will. Unlike a cold ray, where good luck ignoring 180 points of damage. Where would I do that on? That would be 4 unicorns. That would be a whole ton of these greater druids. 7 attack skill, 10 attack skill, 16 defense. I really think I care a lot more about these unicorns than I do about anybody else. And Flint does have great morale. I think I cold ray the unicorns. Thankfully, my green dragons, being average speed, are actually going to go after everybody else goes. I'm anticipating that the unicorns are going to come across the battlefield rather than try and go into a defensive position. I could be wrong. I always get this wrong, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unicorns are fast. And I always end up going too far, and they always get the drop on me. Okay, there's some of their good morale coming out. And we're going to lose 1 dragon there in just a little bit. They do go into a defensive position. Very interesting. Rocks have yet to go, but they do go into a defensive position. Very interesting. Okay. I've got some chances for Flame Breath. If I attack the unicorns here, I'm planning on losing 1 green dragon. Let's do the most damage we can with 2 dragons, and we'll Flame Breath from the top to the bottom right diagonal, and then from the bottom to the top right diagonal, and we're just going to Flame Breath these creatures. Ooh! We actually did really, really nicely there for ourselves by killing all those Archmagi. That was actually really nice. Let's see. I'll be kicking myself. Speed 6, speed 6. I'll be kicking myself if this dragon gets bad morale and I didn't use the dragon that could go to jam up these greater druids. So we gotta do that now. And I see this. This is juicy. This flame breath attack, it's juicy. These unicorns are the highest attack skill creatures. They're going to do the most damage. I must take them out first. Those greater druids, they've gotten good morale once. They just got good luck, and then they got good morale again. These greater druids have been an absolute force to be reckoned with. Oh my word. Wow. We're not going to cast any spells against those dwarves. I don't want to see anything bad happen. I don't want to see them just get rid of some of my creatures. I probably should have done something to those unicorns instead of these rocks. I was just thinking about damage. That was probably a mistake. I think I dislike that the most out of any decision I've made so far recently. Okay. 61 hit points, 200 hit points. I want to get this green dragon out of here, and then this green dragon will go and attack these unicorns from the top so that they can't potentially kill one more green dragon. 36 hit points left. Oh my word. Oh my word. These greater druids are going to do 36 hit points worth of damage here. I think I just try and save the dragon for one more turn, which feels so bad. Oh, 15 hit points left. Noblesse. We're going to Cold Ray here. And then next turn, my Minotaur Kings should actually go first, assuming that they don't get terrible morale. Assuming that they don't get terrible morale. What a very bad statement. There goes that dragon. We are going to lose 2 dragons. Nothing we can do about it, but we can definitely avoid losing this extra 1. So let's go here. Then let's go here, and then our next spell is going to be a Cold Ray right on these greater druids. Again, I don't think I fought this fight better than the computer. But I'm just saying, like, that's actually a good thing. It's actually a good thing. Generally, I do better than the computer. Generally, I do a lot better than the AI. Wow. And that time I did a lot worse. A lot worse. What do you mean, Fix Fox? You lost 2 dragons. You were going to lose 2 dragons anyway. Yeah, but last time, Flint didn't run. So that's basically 1,000 experience points less. I now have very few spell points with which to fight Dawn. That went a lot worse. It's possible. It's possible that the AI calculations from the initial battle screen were with morale and luck that didn't occur in this fight. How do you mean? Any time that you move your troop in a way that the AI didn't, like if the AI and the AI's morale and luck is going to be the exact same morale and luck that I would get if I moved my troops in the exact same way that the AI does. And that way, if you've ever looked at like Heroes 2 Gold or with the FHeroes2 version, which is something that the FHeroes2 team carried over by popular demand, if you save, fight a fight, and then reload and fight the fight again, if you do the exact same things from fight to fight, the damage calculations will be a little bit different, I think, but the morale and the luck will occur at the same spots and at the same time. That does not occur, and that will change if you do different things with your troops once you're in battle. So it's possible that I fought the fight differently than the AI did, and somehow that ended up with those greater druids getting 2 extra bits of morale, 2 extra bits of good luck, and that was enough to turn the fight in this pretty ridiculous way. I don't know. At this point, I mean, I don't save, and so I don't go back. I take my losses where I get them. There's no wrong way of playing Heroes, Might, and Magic 2, by the way. If you do that, that's fine. It's a single player game. Have fun playing your game however you want to. For these purposes, I don't, and so it's hard for me to ever figure out where exactly did I go wrong. Where was the difference? I've got a video cooking where I'll get to that in a little bit, talking about terrain, luck, morale, things like that. That'll be down the road just a little bit. I've got some other things, specifically with Steeson 1. That video is actually my priority. I'm just doing this video because I had a little bit of time. I was burned out doing some other stuff, some other projects, and I needed to push some stuff out this way. And let's be real. I'm recording myself playing Heroes of Might and Magic 2. I love Heroes of Might and Magic 2. That's not bad. Okay, enough talking. +1 to spell power. Let's take the wisdom over the luck. I love luck. I love luck. But the wisdom, I mean, how quickly am I going to get into 4th level spells? It depends on how much of their mage guilds they've built up. I haven't seen any 4th level spells come out from them. We're going to take the luck. We're going to take the luck. I don't love it, but that's what we're going to do. Okay, I can definitely beat Dawn. I say that and then watch as my plans go to waste. I think I can beat Dawn. Really, though, I don't really mind if she's just hanging around. I definitely don't want Marini to come my way, though. And so we're going to head back and then hope that we can meet up with Brock sooner rather than later. And then carry on. Interesting. Very much worth noting that I'm going to be able to move faster than Dawn unless she's got pathfinding. I think this is another case where I just have Arie run as fast as he can, and this observation tower is going to be worth it. I don't think that she can reach me through the swamp because the penalty terrain is 175. And so I think that that's going to be very much worth it to me. Campfire. We're not going to be able to see what's in this witch's hut. Doesn't really matter to me. A gold mine. Ooh, that's interesting. And then a boat. We're doing it. Having my hero that has advanced pathfinding jump into the boat feels weird. But I'm going to do it because, I mean, there's this lighthouse. There's got to be something in the ocean. There's got to be something worth having. I am going to ignore Dawn. I'm going to ignore Marini. It's not going to be long before I'm going to come back, though. And in fact, how far can Brock get? You can get to right there. How far can Brock get next turn? Here? I think I can beat Dawn, come back here, and then bounce into Winterkill. Because I think I can beat Dawn. She doesn't want to fight me. 9 spell points. That's really not very good. 9 spell points. That's 1 Cold Ray. That's, well, what point is there to bless? That's a Cold Ray and a Curse. I can definitely beat them, but will I have enough to beat Marini afterwards? Probably not. Unless maybe I path through here first to pick up this magic well. They'll have an extra week's worth of growth. I think that at that point, though, with an extra 3 dragons, I'll be able to just, off the strength of my offense, I'll be able to just win. The enemy has fled. Let's see if we can do just a little bit better. I think we're going to be able to fight this very, very quickly, so I don't feel too bad about this. I am going to curse these Grand Elves. They can do a lot of damage. Let's not let them do any damage. There's a slow there, 19 damage. Not too bad. The enemy goes into a full defensive position. Let's take out these creatures here. Let's try and do as much damage that way as we can. And then, should I? I think I do. I think I just try and take out as many of these low-level creatures as I can. I will get to these greater druids when I can. But for now, let's just get down the battlefield and fight. Sprites. These Grand Elves are cursed. They're not my priority. Let's work on these greater druids. Because I am looking at my hit points. 68 left, 190. Yeah, I do want to make sure that everything is in a good way here. Those Grand Elves are still going to do damage until we actually get them covered up. 38 hit points left. Oh, why do we gotta cut these things so close? Come on, Fix Fox. 34 hit points. These Grand Elves are not going to be able to do 34 points of damage. Especially if I turn 10 into 4. Okay. I don't remember if we fought that better or worse. But I'm just fine to go to here and let Brock step on here next turn. And then we will head on into Winterkill and defeat Marini without too much more issue. I'm wondering, and I should actually have Brock cast another spell. I should have done it right then, but I'll do it right now anyway. Splitting these dragons. Let's have Brock cast View Heroes. 1, 2, 3. No, Green heroes up here. No green heroes up in this upper right corner. Very intriguing. Okay. That gives us a lot of information, and that lets me press forward with Arie without fear. We're going to pick up this temple, get the good morale. That's +2 morale, actually, which actually puts me in the positive for the first time in a minute. Very happy to see that. And then we should absolutely dominate this fight with all these dragons. The enemy has fled. The AI has been playing pretty good, or am I playing pretty poorly? Difficult to say. So we'll figure out what to do there. Otherwise, I'm very excited to be in this boat. Do I go left or do I go right? I don't know if it really matters. I am interested to see what else is around here, but I'm guessing whatever's around there is guarded. If I go left, I'll be able to eventually get my fast lighthouse. Let's just go to the corner, more or less. Ooh. Oh, I've got to land. I have to land. Look at this. Stone liths. Other liths. Wow. And then is that the third set of liths? That's interesting. What a weird boat ride. It was a very short boat ride, but a very good boat ride. Okay. This observation tower, I think, is going to be big because this should cover this whole right corner of the map. It does. Here is that wizard town. We had talked about this. We had said, you know what? I think that there's going to be a wizard town somewhere. Interesting that they've been hiring heroes over here and not over here. I would think that your wizard town would actually be the priority. It was your very first town. It's your strongest faction as far as late game stuff goes, and it is month 2, week 1. Don't you think that that would be where you should kind of settle down? I would think so. Okay. But Arie now has got some choices. Where does he go? We definitely take Winterkill with Falagar, and then I think we go into this corner here. And so knowing that Falagar is coming, I think we head back this way just to kind of clear out whatever else might be over there. I am very interested to see. These stone lists should go to here. Yoink. We'll hit spacebar to re-engage there. And we'll go this way. And what's over here? A red tent. Okay, interesting. A merchant from faraway lands trades you a new invention of his people for traveling supplies. It makes distant objects appear closer, and he calls it a telescope. So we will pick up the red tent. All right, great. I guess that's just a nice little fun way that you can make sure that if you do sail, you can come back very quickly and get back into the fight. But that might not be interesting depending on where these stone liths go. I'm all a quiver. I'm excited to find out. This town is fairly well upgraded, and I'm actually going to pick up this level 2 mage guild. I've got the resources. I don't know when I'm going to need to come back for things like the sulfur. The lightning bolt, it's better than the cold ray. And I'm going to actually roll this into this section here. This is a huge cache of resources. There's this Hut of the Magi. What else has this map been hiding? Unlike Heroes 3, I know that I said I was going to go up there. We're going to go this way. I'm not going to be able to get to the town in the upper right. I'm not going to be able to get there before the new week anyway, so I'm not going to have to fight an extra week's worth of creatures. So that's my reasoning. I'm sorry for lying to you. It wasn't purposeful deception. It just kind of happened. I'm sorry. But as far as my plan goes here, if I can pick up all these resources, that'll be great in this Hut of the Magi. Unlike Heroes 3, Heroes 2 does not have an above ground and a below ground level. There is no underground level. So if I see all this map, it's not like there's some potential for some underground shenanigans that, I'm just not taking into account. This is the map. The map that you see is the map. And so it seems a little strange to me. You know, what else could be out here? I don't know. Where else are these liths right here going to go to? I don't know. I'm glad I didn't sail all the way over here now. The lighthouse is now under my control, and all the ships will move further each day. Okay, alrighty. Ergon was a good pickup. I'm happy to have had him. Let's see. Going through here, view resources. We'll take the 1 loss from the Griffin. Let's pick up this knowledge first. And then we'll go for the spell, the standing stones. We'll kind of go in this general direction. Should I fight the unicorns or not? I think so. That way, if low-level troops, low-level heroes want to come on through, they sure can. And it won't cost them anything. That seems good to me. That feels good. But really at this point, I'm just interested in this Hut of the Magi. Okay. Oh, okay. Wait, where was that third? Hold on. There's 1, 2, and was there a third eye? I thought that there was a third eye. Maybe I was wrong. Let's just ruin these 4 unicorns. We'll take the ballistics over the mysticism. At this point, this castle and maybe the wizarding castle, they could be tough. With dragons, with flyers, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But we'll take what we can get. Just to make sure that there's no problems in case we do have to kind of bust through those castle walls. It will be nice to have the ballistics to bring those down. You pause to help a diplomat with a broken axle fix his problem. In gratitude, he gives you a writing quill with magical properties, which he says will help people see things your way. And so it shall. Sorcerer's Town here. We've already been in here. Let's see. No purchases to make here. No purchases to make there. I'm probably not going to end up really purchasing red dragons or black dragons. It's quite possible. But then again, it's just kind of like a why at this point. If my army size is big enough, it'll just cause some issues trying to get those 5 dragons, the 5 green dragons upgraded. View towns. Are there any more towns here to view? I have 70 spell points now. There's 1 here, 1 here. Yeah, there's no hidden towns anywhere. I think that we go straight for Flint. I think that we pick up another hero here who can bring troops from the back to the front. We will go here to our well. Dragons first. At this point, 16 Hydras. We're going to take it. We're going to take that. And I'm probably going to end up leaving the Centaurs. It's going to be an army that consists of everybody but Centaurs. And then Brock can come on through. Heck, maybe we can take out this dragon city. Several black dragons. Interesting tactical opportunity. But how often are people actually going to use that? This map doesn't seem so complex. It seems that if I've gotten to this point where I'm able to hold on to these towns, where Dragon City might factor into my plans, or if I'm able to work my way from my wizarding town up to this Dragon City, at that point, is it really going to matter? I submit to you, probably not. Oh. Was there any reason why you didn't want to take a free town? What was that? Okay, I mentioned earlier I can be critical of the FHeroes2 AI as necessary. That. There's no reason not to take a free town. There's no reason. I've kind of wondered, as far as my version of FHeroes2 goes, there's been some extra strange decisions. Last patch and the patch prior, basically the patch prior to December 27th, it felt like things were really stupendous, like really more than just tough. Some points it felt like it was impossible to really overcome the enemy. Now, maybe it's the scenarios themselves. I don't think that the AI is getting worse. Is that even possible? I doubt it. I highly doubt that. Gem cannot go here, pick up the troops, and fight here. At least I don't think. So I'm not going to try. Yeah, with 1,000 movement points, we're not going to try it. Maybe Flint is just trying to backdoor into this barbarian town where we have a ton of troops. I don't know what he's thinking. I'm not going to find out. For Barak, the war is over. He is simply sailing at his heart's desires. If Arie does go down, he's going to go down if he has to fight here. There's no choice for him. And he will lose because he's got troops with, well, 4 speed. Average troops against very fast shooters, especially when it's 1 centaur. Yeah, you're not even going to get the opportunity to do anything but die. It's very sad, but it's absolutely the case here. Because all the enemy heroes are over here, I'm actually going to send Thalagar this way, as opposed to going towards the Necromancer town. I think that Vesper can actually handle this town with no problems. And Dawn is just going to head that way too. She can potentially soften up any enemies. I'm not on cruise control at this point. I'm still making sure that I win this scenario and win it well. But the enemy and I both seem to agree that I've got this fairly well in hand. And I don't know what they could do to really change that. I don't know what the enemy could do to change that. It even seems a little bit not worth my time to be here on the high seas. What am I really going to get out of it? Not a whole ton. This is nice though, the Magellan's Maps. If you've never seen the Magellan's Maps, it is a wonderful adventure map doodad that you can find here in the Price of Loyalty campaign. And the original. Yeah, Magellan's Maps has always been here. And it's really, really nice. My forces suffer a bitter defeat. Let's see if we can do better than that. 3 bone dragons. Okay, yeah, I get it. But the Magellan's Maps will, for the low cost of 1,000 gold, let you see all the enemy terrain. Excuse me. It'll let you see all of the oceans. It will let you see anything that is water. Doesn't matter if it's actually part of like a body of water that is like an ocean. It will let you see everything. It is pretty fantastic. I'm a big fan of it. I don't think I can kill these bone dragons. We're just going to try and get back to these liches and just make these bone dragons spend their time chasing me around. Look at that! So the AI is saying, hey, my priority is absolutely covering up my liches. Good to know. Good to know. I'm just going to continue to... I guess I have a lightning bolt, don't I? Might as well use the lightning bolt. It does a little bit more damage. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. 7 hit points left. I might even lose the unicorn there. I do not. I think that before the AI didn't lose any troops at all, really. This time, we're going to make them lose a couple of more. Just to really ruin their day. We're going to do that, and then I might as well just run with Gem. I don't think I can get anything else done with her. But Barak is coming, and he's mad. Barak is actually in the ocean. Vesper is coming. And he will not be denied. Picking up this Magellan's Maps, the retired captain living in this refurbished fishing platform offers to sell you maps of the sea that he made in his younger days for 1,000 gold. Do you wish to buy the maps? I do. And it looks like there wasn't anything really on the ocean other than this one kind of little nifty extra little bit with the teleporters. I mean, wood, sea chest, sure, not bad, but really not that fantastic. Medal of Distinction, that is actually not too bad. Occasionally you can get artifacts from the chests. And I'm for it. Okay. I'm just going to sleep Barak. I don't really care what he does at this point. We should fight this fight, and we should win very easily. We do. And who is going to win the game first? Vesper or Thalagar? Glorious victory. I'm going to accept these losses. True Compass of Mobility, the +2 to spell power with the Caster's Bracelet, and then the +1 to luck with the 4-leaf clover. Enchanted Hourglass increases the duration of all your spells by 2 turns. +1 to luck with the Gambler's Lucky Coin. And all of a sudden, we've got a pretty good amount of resources, of artifacts, excuse me. And then Vesper, I'm going to do something. I'm just going to sit here. So long as the enemy can't leave, I don't really care. I will finish this fight off with Thalagar if you'll just be a little bit patient with me. Really, it's just going to make the final battle that much easier for me. And it cost me maybe 3 days, 4 days, whatever it was, just to be safe. I will stand up this way. Wow, look at this cache of resources here. And this Dragon City. There's only the one hero. There's nothing else to have there. The view resources. Yeah, that little cache left there is all. Plus a couple of little doodads here and there. I wonder if there's an artifact back there or what. Very interesting. I do think... Oh, I want to see what these... I got to go just a little bit out of my way. Yeah, lots of Crusaders guarding just the lucky pouch of gems. It's not lucky, it just gives you gems. But yeah, the enemy did not clear out some of these caches of resources like I think that maybe they could have or should have. And I think it really went back to the initial thing, not the initial thing, but one of the things I talked about maybe 2 weeks in. And that was, oh look, the enemy is upgraded Winter Kill from a village to a town or a castle. Oh look, they upgraded Dragon Tooth from a town to a castle. They eventually upgraded here with Merrimack. And here in the main wizarding town, buddy, you didn't even get your upgraded Magi. You just spread yourself too thin. And I know for sure that you have bone dragons here. But if that's all, that's not going to cut it for you. Let's fight this fight just to be thorough. 6 bone dragons now is what we are up against. Looks like this is maybe a little bit of a stack of skeletons. 11, not too bad. We do have the bad morale still. We have poor morale, and so our gargoyles did not get to go. We can't cast the blinds against the undead. It's just not going to help us. We can kill almost 2 bone dragons. 20 hit points left on these bone dragons here. And then, I mean, we got so many different options as far as where we attack and how we attack. I might as well take out their biggest, scariest stack. Bone dragons are a good unit. They are a good unit, and they really kind of fit that middle ground niche that they're supposed to. Whereas the Crusaders and the Cyclops are really pretty bad as far as 6th level creatures go in comparison to some of the other ones. I think that the Sorceresses and the Necromancer 6th level creatures do a great job of being exactly what they ought to be, which is good, but not the scariest thing you've ever seen. They're absolutely an upgrade over their lower tiered factions, kind of 6th level creatures are, and that's just fine. By the way, as far as is one faction better than the other, people will sometimes say, oh, Knights are just terrible, they're bad. Barbarians are horrible. Why would I ever buy Cyclops or Crusaders when there's these Titans or Black Dragons to have? And the point is yeah, just because you start off with the Knights and the Barbarians doesn't mean that's where you should end. That doesn't mean that's where you should put all your eggs into that one basket. Each of these factions are not balanced in the sense that head to head, one is always going to have enough parity with another one, but they all shine at different points in the game, and that's just fine. In this case, though, since I started off with wizards or with warlocks and the enemies never upgraded their wizard town to really rival me, you end up with a situation like this, where green player's been vanquished, and that didn't take us that long. Did not take us that long. I think we were at 34 days when we started. We are at 82 days now. But that was scenario 2, border towns. We are now going to be on to scenario 3, the Wayward Sun. Folks, thank you for being here with us. That was a interesting kind of a scenario, and I really do love that you got to see an example of me miscalculating terribly, where we lost our hero, our main hero, to veteran pikemen. That was 3 stacks of 9, and you know what? When I have a failure like that, you're gonna get to see it. When you see a triumph, you're gonna get to see it, and that really adds to the game, I think, in the sense that it makes sure that there's some weight behind these choices. We may not always make the right decisions, but that is why Heroes is fun to play. It's not fun to play because we overwhelm the enemy every time. It's fun because we do the very, very best we can. And when we make a mistake, we try and figure out how do we get back on track. This was an example of getting back on track. Folks, look after yourself. Look after your family. I hope you are well. If you're not well, do some self-care. Focus on what you got to do for you. 2024 is off to a roaring start. I can't believe that we are halfway through the month of January already. If you've got some of those New Year's resolutions, maybe it's not a bad time to just reevaluate and say, hey, you know what? I made those in good faith. Let's try it all over again, and let's redouble our efforts, even if it's just to get us through the end of this month. I hope that 2024 is a great year for you. With that being said, I'll see you here next time. My name is FixFox, and I am out.